Item number 8, consider to take action to find that the Bowie County judge violated Texas Local Government Code, Section 151.001. Mr. Stone, it's your agenda item.
Thank you, Judge. Back on September the 26th, 2014, there was a job posting for Bowie County Courthouse. There's an opening for 2 part-time receptionist positions, 20 to 25 hours per week. And these 2 part-time receptionists were hired without approval of the court, and the local government code 151.001 says that a district, county, or a precinct officer who requires the services of deputies, assistants, or clerks in the performance of the officer's duty shall apply to the Commissioner's Court of the county in which the officer serves for the authority to appoint these employees. Now, Judge, did you apply to the Commissioner's Court?
May I read the rest of that code?
You may.
If the county has a population of more than 190,000, the officer shall apply for the authority to appoint any other kinds of employees. A receptionist is another kind of employee other than deputies, assistants, and clerks. I hired neither a deputy, nor an assistant, nor a clerk for that position. And we are under 190,000 population. Now, if we were over 190,000 population, I would have had to bring that request to Commissioner's Court. It applies not just to deputies, assistants, and clerks, but all other kinds of employees. That doesn't leave any exceptions.
But this so states that you shall bring it before the Commissioner's Court for approval.
Only if I'm hiring a deputy, assistant, or clerk. I would have to do that if we were a population over 190,000 to hire a receptionist.
What do you classify these receptions in? Are they clerks?
No.
What are they?
Receptionist.
And that falls under what heading? What category?
The second part, any other kind of employee.
That's not true. They are considered to be on a employee of yours, which they would be, or as a secretary or whatever, would fall under that heading.
No. In the courthouse, we hire people to sweep the floors and clean the toilets and do all kinds of things. And they are neither a deputy, assistant, nor a clerk, and neither is a receptionist.
Carol, does this not clearly state that this should be brought before the Commissioner's Court for approval prior to hiring this 2 receptionists under 151.001?
It would, in my opinion, it would, because, you know, you're quibbling over how you define a receptionist. It's like how you define the word original in grand jury speak. You know, it's any of those kinds of things. It's how you define an assistant. A receptionist is an assistant. They're assisting in the courthouse. I mean, I think the whole intent of this particular law, as it was back, was it June or whenever it was that you came before the court, for every position in the county to be approved by the court. And so in the spirit of doing that, it would follow to reason. But it says in here, it says you shall apply for deputies, assistants, or clerks. And I guess it depends on how y'all want to define deputies, assistants, or clerks.
It also says that unless you're over $190,000, you don't have to bring it to the court. And if let me finish what I'm saying, please. If you decide today that you've got to bring a receptionist to the Commissioner's Court, this docket will first, they'll take it out of the hands of the department heads as far as the hiring just regular employees. Second, it'll clutter this agenda on a monthly basis with us going over who we're going to hire, even though the department heads have said this is who I want. It becomes political then instead of just in the hands of the department heads. You're taking a lot of these decisions. You could come out to my place next week and say, I don't like him, I don't like him, I don't like him. We're going to put it on the agenda next week because we got 3 votes and we're going to get rid of them. And I think we're opening up a can of worms here. So y'all do what you want to do. But
well, also back on August 26, 2013, A motion was made to approve the order of considering the request to affirm employees. So every employee under the jurisdiction of the Bowie County Court and the Bowie County system was affirmed back in August on this.
Well, I didn't vote for it, I wasn't here then.
Yeah, I understand that. But that tells me that, you know, if we're going to, if I want to hire a secretary, which I do not, I would come before the court. Whether it be a law or what, it would be courtesy for the people in the county to know what I'm trying to do.
Even though the law says you don't have to.
The law doesn't say you don't have to, it says you shall.
It says if the county has a population of more than 190,000, you shall apply for the authority to appoint any other kinds of employees. So the law says you don't have to bring every one of them up here. You just need to determine who we've got to bring up here is what you need to determine. What is a deputy, what is an assistant, or what's a clerk? Are you gonna go through every department in the county and determine which ones of, let's say, Ms. Fox's department, which ones are clerks, which ones are deputies, and which ones are assistants? Are we gonna have to classify every employee in the county with a title so that we'll know what they are in case it comes up in the Commissioner's Court?
We already did that, per Judge Lacey's request.
Would you classify those positions as new positions?
I'm sorry, what was that, Kelly?
The part-time help that you hired, would that be classified as new positions?
That would be classified as any other kinds of employees under the law. There's only 4 kinds of employees under this law. There's a deputy, assistant, clerk, and any other kinds of employees. So when you hire somebody to clean the toilet bowls, that's not a deputy, that's not an assistant, and that's not a clerk. Okay. When you hire a road hand, that's not a deputy or assistant or clerk. And so they're either a deputy, assistant, clerk, or any other kind of employee. That's under this law, under this code, there's only 4 categories, and my receptionist falls under any other kind of employee, just along with the other employees in the courthouse.
Carol, I think I know the answer to this, but go back to some of my insurance days. In the insurance policy, it defines a lot of things. Is there anywhere in this law where these 3 positions are defined?
No.
Okay. So it's up to the interpretation of the court.
Correct.
You have maintenance and housekeeping. You have custodian, 2 custodians, and it's showing here 1 part-time custodian. That was in August 22nd.
How many of those are called deputies, assistants, or clerks?
What I'm saying is, how many positions do you have? It looks to me like you've got more than we approved. You've got housekeeping, maintenance, your custodians, 2 of those, and then part-time custodians.
Do these employees put you over budget? Not over budget, but no, we don't have more employees than are authorized. The receptionists are either deputies, assistants, clerks, or another kind of employee. So we 4 options we have available. Any further discussion or questions? Chair will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we find that the Bowie County Judge violated Texas Local Government Code, Section 151.001.
Motion made by Commissioner Stone. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Blackburn. determine guilt or innocence of violation of Texas Local Government Code, Section 151.001. The 5 voting members, in effect, are the jury. Under American jurisprudence, it seems that we either don't have jurisdiction or we don't have objectivity. One of the 5 voting members is the accused. One of the 5 voting members of the jury is the accuser. And another voting member of the court, by their inclusion of agenda item number 9, has already shown prejudgment in this case. How would you recommend we advance?
It appears to me that the court has jurisdiction because it's involving county business. The court can decide if the court wants to vote yes, the court can vote yes. If the court wants to vote no, the court can vote no.
And this is an objective panel on this issue.
I understand, but once again, there's nothing that sets out in the law to go and bring in 5 new commissioners and a county judge for this particular issue. It's for the commissioners' court to determine how they wish to proceed in this matter.
What's your opinion as the court can be objective on this issue?
Judge, you're asking me for my opinion legally. There's no answer to that on a legal basis. You've asked whether or not the court can take this action. The court can take any action it wishes to take that applies to county business.
Any further comments or questions? I'll poll the court. Commissioner Stone, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Stone votes yes. Commissioner Carter, how do you vote?
No.
Commissioner Carter votes no. Judge votes no. Commissioner Whitford?
Yes.
Commissioner Whitford votes yes. Commissioner Blackburn?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Blackburn votes yes. The motion carries 3-2. Agenda item number 9, consider and take action to eliminate by order of the court, by court order, the 2 part-time receptionist positions recently hired by Bowie County Courthouse. Mr. Ray, this is your agenda item.
Thank you, Judge. Due to the findings we just found in the previous item, I would move that we eliminate by court order the 2 part-time receptionist positions recently hired for Bowie County Courthouse.
Motion by Commissioner Whitman, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Stone. Further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to clarify something. Item 9 calls these receptionist positions. It doesn't call them a clerk, it doesn't call them assistant, and it doesn't call them anything else but a receptionist. So we're getting rid of receptionist. Am I clear on that right now? Is that what I understand we're doing?
Commissioner, if I recall correctly, the definition of deputies, assistants, or clerks is up for discussion and has been determined by this court to apply here.
So we're saying that these people, these receptionists, fit either under deputies, assistants, or clerks. Where did you place them?
Where did I place them?
What are they? What did the court determine that these receptionists are? Are they deputies, assistants, or clerks?
Place where you want to, that's what this court said.
Well, that's evidently what y'all are doing, so go right ahead.
If we pass this motion, I can post for the position to be filled that's already been authorized, which is a receptionist position, full-time. Eliminate 2 part-time positions. The cost of the county would be $41,883.98. The cost of the 2 part-time receptionists to the county is $22,500. You're asking and ordering me over for a department for which I have responsibility to spend an additional $19,383.98 to cover the same jobs. Actually, with these two part-time employees, we cover 9 hours a day, where before, for 1 hour a day for lunch, the receptionist could not occupy that position. So we have a better service to our community, to our visitors to the courthouse, to most of the people that call the courthouse. They know what business they're calling for. They just don't know which department's button to hit. They like to have that receptionist point in the right direction. But and really, if you pass this motion here today, legally, I can post for a job that's going to cost the county $41,883.98.
How about we put that money to one of the offices that need more people working?
And you're out of order.
I don't
And if you
care.
continue to disrupt the court, I'm going to ask the sheriff to remove you.
Ask him to remove me, because you'll
Sheriff,
have to
would you
stop this
remove the
meeting.
clerk?
You'll have to stop
We
the
will
meeting.
recess until somebody from the clerk's office comes up to act as the officio clerk of the court. We're recessed for 10 minutes.
I think it's rude that you're
No, don't you apologize. You dare apologize.
y'all stuck like you're doing stupid crap.
Say
I will do that, but I don't think you got the jury, sorry. Talk to the sheriff. I think you need to talk to the sheriff. I will do my job.
Sheriff, can I say something about your testimony?
Yes, sir. We've never dealt with an issue like this before.
Let me bring us back to this session.
We've never dealt with an issue like this before where someone was ordered from the courtroom. I was not aware of the law myself. I asked for Carol Dobby's advice on it. She showed me a statute where, unlike in a criminal courtroom where the judge is the sole authority in there, in the commissioner's courtroom, it would take the majority of the commissioners to make such an order,
Yeah.
which is in the statute.
Under our adopted rules, as a magistrate in the state of Texas, if I see a crime committed at a construction and public meeting, which I asked her to stop, and she indicated she was going to continue to do, then I have authority as a magistrate in Texas, if I have witnessed a crime myself, to issue such an order. But if the ex officio clerk of the court would agree not to continue disrupting our sessions, I will withdraw my order.
I don't, I would ask for Carol to give advice on this particular matter.
Once again, under section 81.023, under the contempt action of a commissioner's court, of which this is, we are in duly session of commissioner's court. It's the commissioner's court shall find someone in contempt. A commissioner's court shall set the fine and do all of that. Not one member, and even though, in deference to you, you're the county judge, but you're one voting member of a 5-member court, and it's going to take a majority of the commissioner's court to find her in contempt. Not you acting in another position. It's the commissioner's court. That's what you're here as a body, the commissioner's court. So the law is very clear. It's the commissioner's court, not the county judge, nor any one commissioner.
I did not find her in contempt. I found her guilty of disrupting the meeting.
Once again, Judge, it's the commissioner's court. That's all I have to say. I think the law is clear. I've advised the sheriff that it would be my opinion that the commissioner's court would have to find her in contempt of this meeting and those consequences. I don't see that the commissioners have voted on it.
Ready for a vote of another issue, but I guess it supersedes it.
Judge, I think we're still under vote for discussion on this item.
No, right now we're on the item of the contempt of court.
You know, it's not duly posted. Once again, you can't take an action if it's not posted and it's not an agenda item. You cannot then, unless you're going to vote to suspend the rules and suspend the Open Meetings Act and all of those things that require y'all to post with the 72 hours notice and all of that. It's not a proper agenda item. The law does not contemplate an emergency situation.
And it's your legal opinion that a contempt of court issue cannot be dealt with while the court's in session because it wasn't on the agenda.
Correct.
Very good. We're ready to, thank you, Sheriff. We're ready to take a vote unless there's further discussion on agenda item number 9.
Yes, Judge, I would like to read our correspondence, yours and mine, on this one item. September 29th, I sent you an email, and I will read. Judge Lacey, would you want to spend our money on a position that is totally unnecessary for this receptionist job application? Our financial position has not changed. We have been reducing payroll requirements, not adding to it. I think you should strongly reconsider this move. And your reply as 5:58 that same day. My apologies. I failed to ask to see your research. Please share it with me, and I'll promise to reconsider my decision. September the 30th, 12:34. My response to you, Judge Lacey, my research is quite simple. I'm looking at the $5 million loan we must repay, the tax increase we implemented to pay for it, the reduction of our workforce, the loss of revenue, the possibility of tax payments being paid later than usual, and reducing our payables by $30,000 by not replacing this courthouse position. You, as Chief Budget Officer, should embrace the opportunity of reducing our expenditures whenever possible. Our new phone system is automated, therefore a receptionist is no longer needed. Anyone entering the courthouse needing assistance can easily find someone to help. Having said that, I see this as an opportunity to move forward and show the citizens of Bowie County we are serious in our quest to overcome our financial situation. Hopefully this will help persuade you in your decision. Undoubtedly it did not.
You gave me 2 opinions as your research.
Pardon me?
You gave me 2 opinions as your research. You stated that the positions were unnecessary. I asked you for your research establishing that.
My opinion was my research.
And you stated 2 opinions as your research.
I did.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between the new phone system and the old phone system you're referring to?
The new phone system is totally automated. The old phone system, you had to place phone calls to different departments.
That is not true. The old phone system was automated also.
And why did we have a have a phone operator down there running it?
You'll have to ask previous administration that, but the point is that the old phone system allowed people to key in the number of the department they received. Secondly, you stated the opinion that people can easily find the department they want. Before we hired these 2 part-time receptionists to fill that position, I remember on one occasion, an employee from upstairs was standing at the top of the stairs giving guidance to a lady who had gone all the way downstairs, gone to the 2nd floor, gone all the way to the 2nd floor, not found where she needed to be. Her husband had died the day before, and he was a veteran. And this employee upstairs, to their credit, came to the top of the landing trying to give her directions to where she needed to go. And I witnessed this, and I escorted her back to the Veteran Services office. When we had security people there, I think that function was fairly well served by them. I think most people ask the security people, where do I go to do this or that? But once we eliminated security at the front door, it became all the more necessary for the public to have a receptionist there to guide them to the department they were looking for.
When you go into the buy station, who gives you directions there?
The me, if I need them, I get them from the security man that's in that reception area right inside the front doors off of Broad Street.
If I'm correct, you have a listing of all the offices, floors, location, everything there. So when you walk in the buy station, if you're looking for the sheriff's office, you go to the flag and see what his number is, what floor he's on, and et cetera.
The problem is, when our people call, when they come to the courthouse, they know the business they need to take care of, but they often do not know or are uncertain about which department, which office to go to for that business.
Judge, I'm not going to sit in and argue with you. It's a position that's not warranted to be in this courthouse.
Which is your opinion.
That is my opinion.
Any further discussion? Questions? On the floor is the motion made by Commissioner Britton, second by Commissioner Stone, to eliminate by court order 2 part-time receptionist positions recently hired for the Bowie County Courthouse. Commissioner Stone, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Carter?
Since they were budgeted for this year's expenditures, I vote that we keep the positions.
Your vote is no on this agenda item, on this motion.
Yes.
Commissioner Carter votes no. Judge votes no. Commissioner Britton?
Yes.
And Commissioner Blackburn?
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.